This is a read-aloud version of a slideshow. You will not be able to click on any links in this video. You will not be able to watch any of the embedded videos in this video. This is simply a read-aloud of the text on the slides. Week of April 20th, ELA 10 lessons and assignments. Directions. Choose one lesson within the slideshow. There are 3 to choose from. You can also click here to bring you straight to the slides instead of scrolling through. Lesson 1, Memoir Next Draft. Lesson 2, Fake News. Lesson 3, Poetry. Each lesson has 2 assignments attached to it. You must complete both assignments for whatever lesson you choose. Each lesson contains at least 1 video. Make sure you are in a place where you can hear and watch the lesson. Reach out to your teachers if you have any questions. Miss Smith, sierra.smith@pgcps.org. Office hours, 9 o'clock a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m., Tuesday through Friday. Mrs. Dunuan, aidynne.dulnuan@pgcps.org. Office hours, 9 o'clock a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m., Tuesday through Friday. Ms. Schulterbrandt, ESOL, SHARLI.SHULTERBRANDT@pgcps.org. Office hours, 10 o'clock a.m. to 11 o'clock a.m. on Friday. Procedures for distance learning. When communicating digitally, ask yourself, is it kind? Is it helpful? Is it necessary? If not, rephrase it or don't say it at all. Please adhere to the office hours for all communication. Information about how to schedule your email so it only sends during office hours can be found here. Note, if you put a question in Google Classroom as a comment, teachers are far more likely not to see it. Send an email instead. Make a habit of checking Google Classroom as soon as you can on Mondays. That way, if you have any questions or problems, your teachers can help you before you get close to any deadlines. Our district policy. Please be reminded that the PGCPS administrative procedures regarding appropriate use of technology, social media, and email continue to apply to our online instruction. In addition, this session may not be recorded without the instructor's consent. A description of the applicable procedures is provided online in the Student Rights and Responsibilities Handbook. Thank you for your cooperation. Deadlines. Students without accommodations, that's almost all of you. Lesson release date. Monday, April 20th, 2020 at 9 o'clock a.m. Assignments 1 and 2 due dates, Wednesday, April 22nd at 1 o'clock p.m. Students with accommodations, IEPs, 504s, and ESOL. Lesson release date, Monday, April 20th, 2020 at 9 o'clock a.m. Assignments 1 and 2 due dates, Friday, April 24th at 1 o'clock p.m. Follow all directions about submitting work carefully. Work that is not submitted on time or work that is not submitted in the correct place will not earn credit. Lesson 1, Memoir Next Draft. Directions. If you completed the last draft of your memoir and would like to continue working on it, watch the video lesson below. After watching the last video, you may still want a clearer guide about creating tension. Here's a quick video with some tips. Lesson 1, Assignment 1, Directions. Respond on our online discussion board to the following question in your own post. Make sure your name is on the post and it follows the rules for online discussions in Slide 2. Make sure your post is in the column called Lesson 1 Discussion Board, Memoir. 5 points for completion. Discussion question. What is a story you've read recently that you would like to model your writing after? Why that story? What did the author do that impressed you? Be as specific as possible. Respond to someone else's post. Be sure to respond with your name to get credit. 5 points for completion. Lesson 1, Assignment 2, Directions. 1. Use today's lesson and the feedback Ms. Smith gave you on your memoir. Look for an email called Your Memoir Feedback. Complete a new draft of your memoir. 2. When you are finished with your redraft, turn it in on Google Classroom by going to A. The Classwork tab. B. Topic, Distance Learning. C. Lesson 1, Assignment 2, turn memoirs in here. 3. Don't know how to turn in a document on Google Classroom? Watch this helpful video. This assignment is worth 10 points for completion. Lesson 2, Fake News. Directions. During this pandemic, it's hard to stay away from the news. Here's a lesson about how to tell what's real and what's not. Fake news is disinformation for profit. Hoax sites who engineer fake news stories to reap digital advertising revenue. Disinformation for political gain. State-funded fraudulent websites set up by one country to sow confusion in another. Hacking. Hackers gain access to the websites or social media accounts of reputable news outlets and disseminate fake stories. Viral pranks. Hoaxes spread for fun. Uncritically reporting a hoax as fact. A well-crafted hoax spreads widely enough that a credible news outlet reports on it as fact or as a rumor. Credit Common Sense Media, commonsense.org. Keep reading. Fake news is not satire websites. Websites like The Onion write news parodies. Readers who don't know it's satire may mistake it for fact. Satirical stories from regular news sites. Opinion and feature writers in mainstream media will sometimes use satire or fanciful, hypothetical examples to make a point. Honest reporting mistakes. Even the best reporters sometimes get things wrong, report things as fact before they're confirmed, or get spun by sources who aren't telling the whole truth. But if there is no intention to fool anyone, it's not fake news. Journalism you don't like. Just because you don't like what the author says, that doesn't make it fake news. Credit Common Sense Media, commonsense.org. Keep reading. These are the 5 most viewed fake news stories viewed on Facebook last year. How do you know what's real and what's not? Why is this even a problem? Watch one or both of these videos to get some questions answered. Lesson 2, Assignment 1, Directions. 1. Read this article. In the age of fake news, here's how schools are teaching kids to think like fact-checkers, written by Annabelle Timsit and published on Quartz.com. Note, you can only click this link twice before it will ask you to pay, so make sure you have about 15 minutes to sit and read before clicking the link. Do you need this text read aloud to you? Use this website to help. Respond on our online discussion board to the following question in your own post. Make sure your name is on the post and it follows the rules for online discussions in Slide 2. Make sure your post is in the column called Lesson 2 Discussion Board, Fake News. 5 points for completion. Discussion question. This article suggests that the only effective way to get students to understand the difference between trustworthy and fake news is to teach them lateral reading. According to the article, what is wrong with the other methods? Respond to someone else's post. Be sure to respond with your name to get credit. 5 points for completion. Lesson 2, Assignment 2, Directions. Using the article from Assignment 1 or using another source, create a poster for the class about how to determine if news is fake or not. Consider including information about lateral reading. Your poster needs to include your sources somewhere on it and should not be plagiarized. No credit will be given for plagiarized work. You can make your poster using one of these fun poster designing websites or one of your own. Adobe Spark, Pictochart, S'more. When you are finished with your poster, save it and turn it in on Google Classroom by going to the Classwork tab, Topic, Distance Learning, Lesson 2, Assignment 2, Turn Posters in Here. Don't know how to turn in a document on Google Classroom? Watch this helpful video. This assignment is worth 10 points for completion. Lesson 3, Poetry. Directions. When some students hear the word poetry, they groan. However, did you know that people like Tupac and Kendrick Lamar are also considered great American poets? Complete this lesson and learn how to create your own. Directions. Read, listen to the following poems. Use them to get inspiration for your own work and to complete Assignment 1. On this slide, there is a chart with the names of each poem, a text version of the poem, and an audio version for the poems Afro-Latina by Elizabeth Acevedo, who is the author of The Poet X, Fences by Pat Mora. See information in the video on Slide 14 for a teacher model about fences. Theme for English B by Langston Hughes. The Rose That Grew from Concrete by Tupac Shakur. Those Winter Sundays by Robert Hayden. Lesson 3, Assignment 1, Directions. Respond on our online discussion board to the following question in your own post. Make sure your name is on the post and it follows the rules for online discussion in Slide 2. Make sure your post is in the column called Lesson 3 Discussion Board, Poetry. 5 points for completion. Discussion question. Of the 5 mentor poems, which one did you like the best and why? What writing strategies did your mentor poet use that you plan on using in your own writing? Respond to someone else's post. Be sure to respond with your name to get credit. 5 points for completion. Lesson 3, Assignment 2. Use the following writing prompt to write your own poem. As it was with each of our mentor poets, we often think of ways to express our thoughts about ourselves, and if we should truly dare to share those thoughts with others. As your culminating task, each student will create an original poem using your choice of the poets we have studied as a mentor text. Use the poet's ideas for guidance on how you might share or express your thoughts about yourself, or how you might share your thoughts with others in a poem. You will decide how to use poetic elements, use figurative language/imagery to convey your theme and create meaning. When you are finished typing it into a Google Doc, turn it in on Google Classroom by going to the Classwork tab, Topic, Distance Learning. Lesson 3, Assignment 2, Turn Poems in Here. Don't know how to turn in a document on Google Classroom? Watch this helpful video. This assignment is worth 10 points for completion.